All right. Welcome to My Kind of Convo. I'm your host, Criss.
And I'm your host, Kim.
And we have our third host, Criss Cross, who's on hiatus right now, but she'll return soon. But of course, she wouldn't leave us without some kind of conspiracy theory.
I'm telling you, Crisscross Corner, Conspiracy Corner. That's what it is. Crisscross Conspiracy Corner. That's what it is. She got us.
She does. We couldn't have this, this segment, this episode without her segment. So, but she left us with a good one, so I can't wait to hear it later.
Yes.
So again, thank you to all of our listeners and our new listeners. We greatly appreciate it. You joining us and just tuning in. Today we have, again, some really good and interesting topics. Can't wait to talk about them. And then our recommendations at the end. So let's just get right into it.
Let's go.
So the other day I was listening to this episode of, I don't know where it was.
What you was watching? You was watching TV? You was on your phone? Like, what was we doing?
All right. We were driving.
Okay.
And I was with mom, my mom. And she just pulled it up on her phone. And she's listened to this. I don't know who this guy is. I've heard him before. But he has a show. And he had a caller call in. And the caller was saying that him and his girl, they were, of course, planning a future together.
Okay.
And one of the things was that he wanted to buy a house.
Nice.
And so the guy cut him off and was like, okay, but not before marriage. So he was like, yeah, we do intend to get married, but, we are looking to at least, create the foundation and get a house. And he was like, not before marriage. And he's like, I've been in this game for 30 years. I've heard so many stories. What I'm saying is, he's like, it is a large investment. And if you're not married and she is not, and you guys aren't married, and let's say the relationship goes sour and she leaves, then it's very hard to find her, to get a hold of her. Your finances are tied together into this property. It's a lot going on. He said, do it the right way, get married, and then go into this investment. So my mom then turned to me and asked, so what do you think about that? And I was just like, it shouldn't do anything with marriage.
100. Okay.
Wait, so let me just, so I said, this is just my opinion. I said, I don't think this should do anything with marriage, because there's a lot of people who don't get married and choose not to get married because that's just not for them. But they choose to be with this person, this partner, whoever is in their life. But they make investments together. I said, what probably in my book should happen is have a contract, have something put in place, whether it's in your will, whether it's in your trust, whether it's a contract, put it down somewhere about your investments, what is happening in this property, because it depends. Is he putting down majority of the money for this place? Is she putting down majority of the place? Are they putting in money equally into this place? I think there was just so much that wasn't specified for this man to just automatically say marriage is the route to go, and that is it, point blank, period. And I'm like, that's not true, because a lot of people who are married go into investments together and then they get divorced, and then it's still a situation. Or they're married and one partner does something that jeopardizes the whole investment, and now they're stuck in a predicament where it's like, well, dang, we had this and now we lost it, but they're still married. So I don't think marriage is the key to keeping or making sure that our investments are safe. I feel like it depends on it depends on both parties, what are they putting into it, and getting it down on paper. If anything should happen, if I leave, you leave, we separate, whatever the case might be, what are we leaving with, and how do we handle this part of what we've put into it? But that's what I'm saying. That's what I told her, because I was just like, this is how I feel about it. But yeah, what do your face?
This makes me really upset, because you're right. I believe marriages are beautiful things, but all marriages don't last.
Right.
And, you know, it could be on him, it could be on her, it could be on her, it could be on her and him, and it doesn't matter. Marriage it's legally binding, and all that marriage is going to do in this situation is cause more lawyers.
More money.
More money.
More money.
Because when that person, and you guys put both of your names on it,
yeah,
and you're like, well, now we're breaking up, we're getting a divorce, who gets this asset? It's now considered an asset. That's more money, more lawyers, more headache. And then it gets to the point where there's going to be that one person that says, I don't care anymore. It's more heartache and more pain.
Right.
Marriage should not be the reason why I should stop myself from me and my partner getting ahead in life.
There you go. There you go.
Like I have a really good friend. She and her partner have been together, I believe it's going to be like 15 years now. They've been together for a really long time. They are not married. They are Commonwealth married because they've been living together for a very long time. If anyone doesn't know, Commonwealth married means you've lived with this person for over 7 years. You are not related in any sort of way, but it's considered under law you are married.
Yeah, you've been together for such a long time.
Right. They're common law married. And they're buying a house in another state.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I've asked her before, like, have you ever thought about getting married to your partner? And she was just like, honestly, it's not something that we both want to do. But she also comes from a family where her parents were not married. They were together.
Right.
But not married.
Okay.
So she doesn't have that, if I get married, I get married. If I don't, all right, it's cool. And she's young, you know.
Right.
She's a good kid.
She could change.
She could change her mind in a couple of years. Who knows?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's not stopping them from forwarding themselves in their own lives.
Right.
Why should me getting married stop that? If I want to put my financials and everything into this person, then I'm going to do what I want to do with whether I'm married or not. That should not stop me.
Right. One of like the examples I gave was, I'm like, look, it's not the greatest of examples, but because, you know, it's not just a common person, but look at Oprah and her partner. Stedman. Right? At the end of the day, they are not married. And yes, they have money. They're well off, but they have to be living in a certain place together at some point, whether he has his own place or she has her own place, but they have a common place, right? Who's paying for that? Who's investing in that? How much percentage is she putting in? How much is he putting in? Is it all hers? Is it all his? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, they did not let their relationship define what their living and foundations are going to be. Okay. Right. It's like, oh, we need to get married to have a house. No. They were like, I'm happy with our situation. Are you happy with our situation? Okay. All right, bet. I want a house. I want a couple houses, or I want a house where we are mutually living in and our dwellings. This is how much I'll put in, or, you know, how much do you want to put in, or I completely own it. You could, you know, like, what is this? What is this? This is the conversation we're having, you know, like, so again, that's just an example, but that was the best example at the time I can think of, because they're not married. They don't have a piece of paper that says that I needed to do this. I needed to walk down the aisle, or I needed to go to the courts to get a place because of the investment, but they have money.
But let's talk about that. Let's go back to a celebrity. And there's tons of them who have dated and were great dating this person for years. And then they got married, and that's it.
Yeah. So now we have to figure out the assets. We have to break down what I get,
and
what you get.
And we ain't had a prenup.
Right. I'm not saying, okay, so this is my thing.
I am not saying marriage is it's bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I believe that you should not have to go that route
to have a foundation.
To have a great foundation for yourself and your partner.
Well, I was saying when we were talking about it, I said I wasn't talking about a prenup, because yes, a prenup is a contract of these are my assets, this is what I came with it, this is what I'm coming out with it. So if anything should happen, this is this is how this is going to go down.
Right.
You know, I mean, that could be put in place. I was trying to put it in a way where you can have your will, you can have your trust, you put in your assets, and from there you know what assets are going to who, going
Correct.
to what, who's keeping what, whatever the case may be. What I'm coming in with, what I'm coming out with, whatever the case may be. A lot of people don't like prenups, but you know, if you are concerned about this failing and you want to make sure that you're covered, then some people will choose a prenup.
Correct.
You know,
But
I
then
wasn't
there are
going in that route.
marriages that just fail because they are not ready for marriage.
Mm-hmm.
We was dating. It was great for the 18 years we dated.
Right.
We got married and everything went downhill.
Right.
We still living together. We still everything, but it's just
Right.
now being married just didn't work.
I mean, finances is a really key part in any relationship, especially
Correct.
a relationship that is going for a long period of time, and
Yes.
you really see each other like living and growing old together and having a life together.
You gotta sit down and do that.
You have to do that. So it's a key part of any really massive like long-term relationship. I just think that the guy saying that marriage had to be done
That's
before
nuts.
was just
Doesn't.
wild.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
How many people are married and step out on their marriage and then still go through all of the assets and everything else? It's not, that is not. I'm sorry. They can cheat on you when you're married. They can cheat on you when you're not married.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop you
Right. So me
from
getting-
building your foundation.
I mean, if I marry them, they won't cheat.
no. What's
That's gonna
stopping?
stop the cheating, guys.
Oh, I got a marriage license. I can't cheat. Oh.
Right.
Who has ever said that? Oh wait, girl, you can't be doing this lap dance on me. I got a marriage license and a ring on this finger right here, on this one.
Right.
No, you can't do that. I'm married.
Right.
Can't cheat. It's in the contract.
Right.
No, girl, you can't suck this. Don't do that. Come on, because marriage is gonna stop the arguments. Oh,
Yeah.
as soon as I get married, we're gonna stop arguing. No, it doesn't happen that way.
Right.
We're gonna argue.
Right. Yeah.
That is not that to me. It's not good advice.
I thought so.
That's
my opinion.
If you choose to go that route
Yeah.
and would preferably be married,
So
I support you.
yeah.
If you prefer to go that route and preferably be not married,
Yeah.
I support you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's the same thing like people living together in an apartment.
Yeah.
You still got to put money into an apartment.
Right. Everyone brings their own stuff in. Everyone, whether you're roommates, partners, friends, whatever the case might be, everyone's bringing something to the table. And now it's like when that gets dissolved, when that
Correct.
ends, you have to you're like, okay, what am I leaving with? What am
Right.
I leaving
And
behind?
You
what
know
am
what
I
you
keeping?
shouldn't do when you this is the one thing I say you should never get together in a relationship like that. Animals. Oh. Don't do that. Animals. Because animals are like your baby.
But it's like talking about children.
Right. But it's like if
It would have to
so
be like
to say the relationship dissolves.
Yeah.
Not amicably. I was trying to be all kinds of serious. So hard to say that word for me. I'm so sorry.
I'm not even going to try it.
No. Not, you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Okay? Because Kimberly was watching 90 Day Fiance.
I know which situation you're talking about.
And it did not go well. And
For a
if
couple.
y'all have watched 90 Day Fiance, y'all know who I'm talking about. And the husband picked up the dog and said, I paid for the dog. The dog is mine. And she's running behind him screaming, give me my dog.
Yeah.
Give me my dog. This is mine. Give me my dog. The reason why he picked up the dog and said, I paid for the dog. This is mine. They're splitting up and they're having a really bad argument. And he said, I'm taking my clothes. And she said, no, I paid for your clothes. I paid
So
for everything
basically,
in
he
the
wanted to
closet.
say, well, since you paid for that, I paid for this, so I own this, I take
this. Right.
Yeah, it's a little petty, though.
It's very petty.
Okay.
The whole situation is petty. But at the end of the day, it's not the dog's fault.
Right.
It's not the kid's fault.
No.
So what, we gonna have visitation for the animal? You gonna get him
Some
this
people
weekend?
do
That's true. They
co-parenting.
co-parent these
Some
animals.
people, if they can.
Let me explain
Some
something.
people do co-parenting.
My cat belonged to me. Let me explain something. I'm coming in with the cat. I'm leaving with the cat. All right. Like, you gonna love the cat? You're not gonna love the cat. That's on you.
By all means, you can leave with the cat.
I will leave with the cat. Okay. Like, me and the cat not on good terms all the time. But
the cat.
there are certain times where she just jump on me. And I say, ooh.
This is the one time I'm like, I found the cat, but you can leave with the cat.
I didn't choose the cat. The cat chose. No, the cat didn't even choose me.
I chose you.
You chose me for the cat. And where are we now? This was not supposed to happen.
Well, you have that. I will not fight you on the cat. By all means,
I won't leave the cat here.
No. That's where we'll fight. That's where we'll fight.
That's where we'll
you leave the cat. We'll fight.
No, you can take the cat.
No, I'm good.
Your significant other loves the cat.
Yeah, no. No.
You can keep the cat.
No, I'm good. But all in all, just that conversation, that, and all, I mean, for me, that, and for you, I mean, clearly we're on the same page, but there may be some other people that felt like there are stages in life that you should be attaining, and one of them is setting, and maybe they feel like marriage is a contract that is enough to then set a foundation.
It's not to me, it's not a great contract in that aspect of a house.
But I'm just saying to our listeners, let us know what you think, because I would like to hear. Maybe you have a clearer difference than we do, and have something to say about it, and I would love to hear what that is and what you thought about it. Do you feel that marriage is a reason enough to then get a house with your partner, or do you feel that no, if me and my partner decide to make this this transition, this move in our lives together, then this is what we're gonna do, period. We don't need to get married to do that. Tell us what you think. I would love to hear it.
All right. Now let me calm down a little bit and let's go to our nerd corner. You know what? It really does annoy me. It does.
Yeah.
All right. So I've talked about DC. I've talked about Marvel. Let's switch it into a little bit of anime now. I know, but this is something you can talk about.
Okay. Well, for our listeners that don't know, I'm not a massive anime fan. Don't jump down my throat. I'm really not. And I mean, the most anime I have done in my life was, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, Digimon. You did a little bit of Pokemon. A little bit. Only because
a smidgen.
You and our brother were insistent on watching this on a daily. Not a Pokemon fan.
Digimon all the way, though.
Yeah, I'm not a Pokemon fan. So that was very much that's the most anime you could have gotten into me, and you're getting better though. You know what? Webtoons has definitely changed that. Yeah. If they didn't have good stories on there, I think, and it wasn't an anime style, I definitely would not be into it.
That's true.
But the storylines are fire. A lot of them are fire. But yeah, I'm not the biggest anime person.
No, but
I respect it enough that if my partner and my family and my friends are into it, I'll attend. I'll watch, but I'm not. It's not something I will seek out myself.
Me being a member of the Crunchyroll security,
What?
It's Crunchyroll security.
When did that happen?
I don't know. It just happened 3 seconds ago.
Do they know that?
They don't. But I got a membership, so that's all that matters.
Wow.
Premium.
Okay.
Right? So, but I'm going to talk about an anime. We're going to talk a little bit Sailor Moon here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all right.
I just said that.
So we all got the sailors. You go straight through all the phases, and we got Moon. The one I want to talk about, who I love because of this, is Sailor Pluto.
Okay.
So Sailor Pluto in the TV show, it's a regular sailor. She sits. She's at the end. She's more towards the end. She's a beautiful sailor. I personally have also read the mangas. Mm-hmm. Within the mangas, Sailor Pluto is black. She is a black Sailor Scout. When Sailor Moon was being moved to animation, Sailor Pluto was whitewashed.
Clearly, yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't read the manga, but I definitely watched the show. Yeah.
So it really did affect me, knowing that reading it, I loved her because she looked like me.
Right.
And then when I watched, and I'm so excited because they're bringing her to animation for me, she's whitewashed. So I even I've talked about this before with other people, and I wanted to double check because when I read it, I was very into it. And then I was like, maybe I'm wrong. This is when I started questioning myself.
Right, of course.
As an anime watcher and a manga reader, I was like, maybe she wasn't supposed to be black.
Right.
Maybe she's just supposed to be white.
Yeah.
Maybe she's supposed to just be Asian.
You're like, maybe like, because the mangas are black and white mostly.
Yes.
So you're like, maybe I just perceived her that way.
Correct.
But in all honesty, she was definitely just white.
Right. So actually, the author, I'm going to say their name wrong, and I really apologize. I don't want to say this wrong.
I'm glad you're trying though.
I'm gonna try. I am gonna try, but I want to get their full name. Nanako Takeuchi.
Okay.
All right. Stated that they wanted to make Pluto a dark soldier, so I gave her hair and skin of a black tone. That tells me she black.
Yep.
So I'm just like, I didn't make it up. Right. It wasn't me just looking, Yeah. Because you're right. The originals were in black and white. There was no color. So then I think about it and I'm like, why is this done to a lot, not just our anime shows, but a lot of our shows that we read as books or read as comics?
Yeah.
And why are a lot of things whitewashed, quote unquote? Great example again, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay. I did not watch that. You went into a realm I could relate to a realm I was like,
to Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Evolution. That was such a bad movie.
Yeah.
Or what was the?
Oh yeah, that was.
That was a
not only was it just bad
movie,
it was just. That's another topic for another day. But that movie was tragically terrible. Yeah, and okay, I did watch the movie because I'm an M. Night Shyamalan fan. You could fight me in the comments. You can tell me it's a terrible choice of directorship. I know he's been up and down in his movies. Don't think I haven't noticed. Oh yeah, even I watched The Last Airbender and I had questions, and particularly it's funny because I haven't watched the whole series from beginning to end, but I did watch
you understand it.
Yeah, but I did watch that one episode. And please, anime fans, please don't come after me. I don't know all the names and I don't know everything, but I do know it was the episode where I forgot her name and she turned into a fish. It was in the movie.
Princess Yui?
Yes. She was in the movie. I'm sorry. But I did see that episode. And so when I did see the movie, I was like, oh. And I was like, ugh. Why'd they do it like that? Like, compared to the anime. And I know you can't copy the anime. I'm not saying you can. But you definitely took a bunch of episodes and threw them together and then spit out this movie and then said, here we are, The Last Airbender. And even I was like, ugh. If I hadn't seen that episode, I probably would have thought, oh, well, okay. But knowing some of the premise and knowing some of from you guys who've watched it religiously.
If you
I was
ever
like,
call somebody Soka again,
even I know that was wrong.
We not friends.
Yeah, that was
we
wrong.
not friends.
But to whitewash it, that's, and not even just whitewash it. They made it very. It wasn't just Asian. It was like Indian Asian, and I think that took away from it as well. And then the characters were white, and then it was just like you didn't really represent the true Asian part of the anime.
Yes,
and that was something.
You're a huge movie head,
Yeah.
so I know this is huge in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Now, do we feel that like if you think about it, one of your favorites is Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
And his portrayal of in The Lone Ranger.
I watched it once.
It was bad.
You can, yeah. Okay, so for the listeners and anyone that knows me, I will watch a movie. If I really enjoy it, it's a staple. I can watch it so many times that you'll get sick and be like, didn't you just literally watch this yesterday or last night? And I'll be like, yeah, and I'll watch it again. That's just how much for me, I always see something different in that movie, no matter how many times I've watched it. I'll pinpoint something. I'm like, I've seen this like 25 times and I still see something new in it. I went to school for media, so for me, it's just kind of like in my wheelhouse. The Lone Ranger.
Let's talk about it.
Man.
The accent and everything.
Man.
The face paint. Why?
Man, the disrespect. That whole bird on his head. I was just.
Why?
I was like, why of all the things to play? And he has played so many characters, and
so many amazing characters.
We know he's versatile.
You know, the other day I watched Crybaby. Oh my gosh.
He's versatile. But that doesn't mean he's that versatile. Like, step back. There's some things you say yes to, and there's some things you say no to. And that was a movie he should have said no to. Mm-hmm. That was not a movie to try to portray a Native American in America. That is not a movie to, especially that particular character. I think I zoned out after some time because I really, to the point, like, I just don't really remember that movie because I don't like it. I do not refer to that movie in his wheelhouse because it just wasn't, it wasn't a good representation. It's just like a lot of these movies that represent different ethnicities and then throwing other people into them that do not represent that ethnicity is just disrespectful.
Yeah. Yeah,
it really
it's very, and that's how I see it. So if we do that in Hollywood, we're doing it in comic books, we're doing it in anime.
What are you saying? You know, it's like, what are you saying? And it's hard. I see a lot of, you know, like it's, if you go to conventions and you go to anime or Comic-Cons or anything like that, to see representation
is huge.
It's so huge in that community. Not only that, but it's also really interesting to see the when they take a character and they bend it to fit them. I love gender bent cosplay. I think it's amazing. Like if you see the Joker, but it's played by a woman and it's gender bent, you're just like, that's fire. I would have never thought of that. You know, I would have thought of there's a cosplayer, she's really good. She did Sailor Moon Knight. She put Moon Knight and Sailor Moon together and made this amazing costume. I was just like, wow, that mixture is fire. So it's interesting how the community takes these characters and twists them and turns them into unique versions or subversions of the original. So, but, you know, Hollywood and, you know, TV, when you don't see that authentic representation, it's very difficult. It's very hard to, and it feels disheartening. Mm-hmm. You know,
it is.
It's disheartening to the original character. It's disheartening to the original creator, and it's disheartening to the fans. You know, because you're thinking, oh, fire, it's about to go down. And then they put that out, and you're like, what just happened?
You know how I felt? That I felt when I watched Doctor Strange. The Ancient One.
And you know, I like Tilda Swinton.
I love Tilda Swinton as an actress. Yeah. I think she is absolutely amazing in the roles she's picked and the things that she's done.
Yeah.
That wasn't one of them.
Yeah, I get it.
The representation of the Ancient One, and if you know back in the comics, let's go back to Marvel here, is Himalayan. Because Doctor Strange went to the mountains. Okay? The Ancient One is Himalayan. I had no problem with it being a woman.
No.
I had a problem with the ethnicity. And it's not that she didn't do a great job. I think she did a good job as the Ancient One.
Yeah.
I just think we could have shown more representation. Okay?
Yeah.
And we partially showing representation in Wong. We're partially showing representation in Marvel. But we're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. If we're going to stay authentic to the writers and the writing and the creation that we've done, let's do that.
Right.
But I know Sailor Moon's original anime came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
So we wanted it to show. So what are we going to do? Lighten everybody. Which is why I understand why Pluto was put as a white person. But what hurt even more was Sailor Moon came back out with Sailor Moon Crystal, which was just a retelling of the original anime.
Yeah.
And she was still white.
I didn't see that one.
And that came out 2020, 2021.
Oh. So it still wasn't even like corrected.
It wasn't corrected.
Damn.
And it was a big thing for the community.
Of course. Especially now, because we're 2021. Now. It's not 1990 anymore. It's 2021.
We could accept,
and we've come so far as a society when it comes to acceptance. And now, I mean, it's not fully across the world. It's not fully across in many different places, but it's way further than it was in like the 80s and 90s, you know? Like
we would never, to put it out there, we would never get a movie like Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh. What?
Full Asian cast.
Yeah, majority of my life was karate movies.
Hello,
you know.
Yes.
Yeah,
we, you know,
like they weren't people. They weren't anything other than this one form of
Jackie Chan was always jumping.
Movie. Yeah,
he always had to do karate.
He
would never
Jet Li too.
Could never be
Bruce Lee
more than that. They could never be more than that.
Yeah, you can't imagine them in a romantic lead, or you can't imagine them
in a romantic
parents.
Comedy.
You can't
never.
imagine them, you know, as, and that's what I love about Crazy Rich Asians. It's just, it's a family movie about the romance between two people from two different classes, and what is considered, and the classes within their classes, because they don't accept her, or the mother didn't accept her because not only was she not rich, not well known, not of high society, but she was an Asian in America.
Yes.
And that was frowned upon.
So she wasn't the right Asian.
So she was, yes. So it was like, boom, what? Are you, you're, you know what I'm saying? It was literally prejudice within its own community.
Yes.
But, you know, that's a whole nother tale, but that is not a movie we would have seen back when.
Oh, no.
You know?
You know what we had back then? The Joy Luck Club. And I love the Joy Luck Club.
Oh, that was a good movie.
That's a good movie.
That was a good movie.
But we talking about grandmas, and we're talking about history.
Yeah.
We're not talking about how they are today, you know, that they're chilling.
Yeah.
This is who they are.
Yeah. Like,
you know?
I'm excited to see Joyride.
Oh, my gosh.
I haven't seen it. No spoilers, but that is a movie that, again, we wouldn't have seen then.
So cute.
We see now. Or, I don't want to get it wrong. Everything, Everywhere.
Yes. Michelle Yeoh. Oh, I love it. Oh.
I absolutely, it's a crazy movie, but Oh, there you go. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yes.
That is a good movie, and it has a predominantly Asian cast.
Yes.
And it's its own multiverse. Wild. Something you still want to have seen. And yes, it has some fighting and it has some karate, but it's also the foundation of it is family. Like, I'm just like, damn, that's a good movie.
Good movie, you know?
After you watch it like the third time. Because now the first time you're like, what is going on here? Second time you're like, okay. By the third time you're like, okay, I got this. I'm getting it.
Great movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's what I'm saying. I love that the representation is happening now, and I can see this in my lifetime. I want it to go across the board.
Yeah, I get it.
It
just means we still have a long way to go.
You do have a long way to go. You know what did bring it back for me a little bit? The One Piece live action.
Did you watch?
I haven't watched all of it. I have seen stills, and I have seen, the pictures of the cast, and the cast fit the anime version. And that's very rewarding.
So I found out that anime is still going on after X amount of episodes.
Over 1,000
so that
episodes.
that is a show I will not be watching at any time. I am still trying to get through Supernatural. So if I can't get through
Supernatural coming back though. I heard they're coming back for season 16.
If I can't, that's another discussion. If I can't get through 15 seasons of that, I don't know what to tell you about One Piece. That is just not happening. Will not be in my wheelhouse. But I did hear about the live action, and I might give it a peek, so I'll understand what the representation is there. And I think some people were saying they're still not fully happy with it, though.
Really?
Yeah.
I think also it's because they have gender bent a few people in the live action. People not ready for all that.
Oh, got you. So they still want to see their characters that they read about or they watched in the animation, but it's not.
The manga's still going on too.
Oh boy,
full on.
They're not gonna let that
full on.
Yeah,
go on, Luffy.
He needs an award for
Pirate King,
the longest running animation.
No, it's not though.
Well then, okay. All right, so you guys tell us what you think about representation in animations or in anime,
Period.
or in DC, Marvel. Just, what do you think overall about where it's been and where we are today? And what do you think should be done, if anything?
Right.
Do you think that, what you have seen has been great and shouldn't change? Or should there be more representation? Should they make a future Sailor Moon where it actually is very much like the comic, very much like the manga? Let us know what you think in the comments.
All right. Now, let's put our conspiracy hats on while I channel some crisscross. All right. So, there's this theory. It's not a theory. This is fact, actually.
Okay.
When NASA first came out in 1958.
Okay.
NASA was not for... They did not study space. This is a fact.
Okay.
NASA studied our seas and our oceans for the first 20 years of its creation. So 1958 to 1978, NASA studied the oceans. Very weird.
Okay.
Right. Just take that into account. In 1978, all of a sudden, NASA decided, we're going to study space. What did they see in those 20 years of studying the ocean that they now believe that we need to leave this planet?
Wait a minute. So,
go ahead.
20 years they were studying the sea.
Studying the ocean, studying the sea, the wildlife.
Yo, this is again giving me War of the World vibes. Okay, where they came down from space and all right, if you haven't seen War of the Worlds, go watch it. This movie's been out for a while, and I'm not talking about the OG one from like 19 something. I'm talking about the one with Tom Cruise. Okay, let's keep it modern. The one from Tom Cruise, and actually there is a War of the Worlds. I think it's on Prime, but it's very recent, and it's It's its own spin on War of the Worlds. So I haven't seen it yet, and I think it's based in Britain. But yeah, that I haven't. It's not that one. I'm talking about Tom Cruise's War of the Worlds.
Good movie.
Watch that. You literally see when they're coming down from the sky, you just see like these things and they hit the water. Mm-hmm. That's to it. It says, and as time goes on, we find out later that what came from the sky, it wasn't entering in the water in the sense of like it just landed in the water and then it was coming out of the water. No, that the machines that they were in were already on Earth. All it was the alien coming from space to land into the space, whatever it is, object that's been sitting in the water. And now they were just rising up to take us out. So they're saying it's already there. So what you're telling me right now,
this is what I'm telling you. Go ahead.
Is that NASA was studying the water
for 20 years.
20 years of research in the deeps of the ocean's depths. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, after 20 years, they said, time is up. We going to look in space and we need to go. You're right. What would make the change? Now, if you're telling me funding was like, okay, well, as much as we like you guys looking in the water, you know, we want to pay you to look in the sky. That could be a change. That could be a reason why they flipped after 20 years. Like their contract was up and they were like, no more funding after this. And they're like, well, we need funding. And they're like, well, we have money to fund if you want to look at space. And they're like, okay, let's do that. You know, that happens. So that might not be out the realm of possibilities.
You're just trying to pull teeth right now.
I really am. Because the thought that there may be some crafts chilling out in the depths of the sea waiting to be inhabited is freaky, dude.
Because it's like, you know, NASA has not told us everything at all. Of course not. So what is it?
They literally just came out confirming, and this is for all my people out there. I feel bad for those of you that have been saying that they're aliens. They just came out confirming, yeah, aliens exist.
Right.
Like we needed to know that.
We've been known. All right. But it's like, y'all you didn't study it for like 3 years and say, this ain't real great. Let's go up to the skies.
Yeah.
No, you studied for 20 years. That is a long time.
I think for me, it's, again.
You made submarines and you went down in the depths and you have files.
Right. It's just not revealing what's in those files.
Correct.
I think that's what it is. I'm chill with you finding whatever you find and say, we got to go to the sky. But
you were like, we got to go.
I'm trying to, in my own head, plant the fact that funding was cut. And y'all just decided.
You want to say funding was cut, but it was in the 1970s. Now,
so what?
Everybody
funding
could say
gotten cut in 1970s. People get pink slips every day.
It could have, okay, and it could have been that Russia was going, you know, International Space Station and all of that.
Yeah.
It could have been that.
Yeah.
I don't have the information for that and the dates for that.
If they found out that Russia was going into space, they're like, we
need to reallocate a department, and you're the department we're reallocating.
Or money from this.
Right.
We don't need to look anymore. We need it up there.
So
that could have been a thing.
It could have been. And I'll you know, I know a little bit of history. It could have been that.
Yeah. What
did we see in the ocean?
I think that's what we need to know. Like, you had to have researched enough in 20 years to have seen something. Let me know there's a mermaid.
And this is the thing. There are oceanographers out there now.
Tell me you checked out the Loch Ness.
Who study the ocean floors and everything. Do they have access to these reports?
Let me know there's a dinosaur down there. I'm just saying, I agree with you. If, you know, what are the reports? Like, you have 20 years of information just chilling for no reason?
Right. Right.
What is it going to hurt us if you reveal that we saw this down there? Okay, that was 20 years ago. Anybody could know what, we don't know what's there now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was in 1970 something. We're in 2023. You know, like, let us know what, at this point, release the files. What are we going to do about it?
What are we going to do? In 1978, we found a bug. It was down there.
I don't think it's going to stop people. It's going to not stop people from going in the water. It's not going to stop people from believing or not believing. At the end of the day, people are going to live their lives.
Right. And the thing about it is, there are people out there that want to study the ocean. Maybe this information can help them, better understand the animals that live down there. We live on a planet that is more than 70% water. How can you tell me we can explore the land, but we can't explore the water still?
Yeah.
We still cannot get there, but we're exploring space and planets that are farther away from home.
It's very hard to get to like the furthest, deepest part of the ocean.
We have drones in our skies, but we can't get something down there to figure it out.
Yeah, we can get to the moon, quote unquote, but we can't
get to the deepest parts of our ocean
of this planet.
Tell me a fish ate the robot. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's all right. I accept that.
Right.
But we still don't have anything on it? Nothing.
We're trying to get to Mars, but we still can't get to the core of this.
We can't. Planet. We say that the Earth has a core. Who been there? Who there? The fishes?
I would love to see it.
I would love to see an actual picture.
I would like to see them just really, take a real sea dive into the deepest, because again, there's just so many mysteries. And there's so many things happening on this planet that, we can't just leave this planet and just say, all right, deuces, because, well, the planet's ending, so let's just go to another planet and that one too. Let's what's down there? What's going on? Not all of us can go down there. So those that you can send in the sense of robots, let's find out.
Is Namor down there?
Man, just tell me if
Atlantis is down there.
Just tell me mermaids exist.
Oh, well, mermaids and sirens.
Seafaring people didn't do that for no reason. They didn't say all that stuff for no reason,
Yeah, mermaids is a whole nother conspiracy.
It really is.
Whole nother conspiracy.
But NASA, let's go.
Yeah. So I just wanted to check it out. And it does say NASA's original mission was searching the oceans. They will not tell us what they found, but their plans abruptly switched to getting us off this planet.
Man,
why?
War of the Worlds. They were like, whatever they said, nope, got to go.
We got to change it. Let's go put this proposal in right now. Right now.
What we saw, y'all. Gotta go. Can't stay here. That's a good question. What did they see? So yeah, guys, let us know what you think about that quick switch up, or that do you think that they did see something and we really do need to get off this planet, or do you think that maybe funding just switched around and it was just like, well,
and if I'm wrong, please let us know. Give us some fact checks.
Yeah, we would love to hear from you guys and let us know. So all right. Thank you for Crisscross's Corner. Now we're going to head off to our recommendations. So for me, I recently just finished audiobook on Audible. It was so immersive. It was so good. I'm not a massive sci-fi person outside of like Star Trek and stuff. Like, that's practically what I grew up with, literally.
100%.
But this one, when I started it, I was intrigued a little bit, and I was when I found out it was like a sci-fi. But once I got really into it, I was in love. It's called The Downloaded. It's an Audible original, and it stars one of my favorite actors, Brendan Fraser.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. It literally is about everything takes place in 2059, where we are at a point where we can actually be frozen and our minds are downloaded into a system where we're actually living. Of course, you're frozen for a certain period of time, and then you're rewoken and you're downloaded back into your body once your body is fully active. In this case, we have a set of astronauts that are going to a different planet, and they are frozen. But when they awaken, they realize that things did not go as planned. And one of the things that didn't go as planned is not only are they awake, but there are also other people here who were frozen, prisoners, and they are awake. So now we have these two different sets of people who are now in a big, huge situation where they were supposed to be woken up at certain times, they woke up years, decades, centuries later, about 500 years later. And now it's, where do we go from here? So I would say definitely take a listen. It is done in such a way where it is literally multiple voices for multiple characters. It's literally like a movie / TV show running in your head. They have sounds. You hear everything that's going on, from the tap of a finger or the music in the background to trickling water to steps on grass. It is just so immersive. I highly, highly, highly recommend. It has stuck with me, the ending, and it is absolutely fantastic. So again, it's called The Downloaded. It is only about a 5-hour, and it's free on Audible. So definitely, it's an Audible original, so definitely check it out. Highly, highly recommend.
Thank you. I'll have to listen to that when I get a chance. So, my recommendation is, I'm an avid tea drinker. Morning, afternoon, night, I'll drink me a good cup of tea. I'm not a coffee drinker. Tea is where it's at. So, being a comic book nerd in there was a place that we really got our teas from Comic-Con. We got a box of sample teas from this place called Tea and Absinthe. Every single tea is so good. Mm-hmm. So it was established back in 2010, and their whole thing is drink your fandom. Yes, please. Yes, please. So they have teas that are called Queen of Hearts that have strawberry and rose and everything in it and makes it red. They have TARDIS teas. They have every house of Hogwarts has a tea. Oh. They have Halloween Town tea. So, and they have sample packs, so you can go through their samples and figure out which tea you like the best. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're like us, we're not supposed to drink a lot of caffeine. They do have a lot of black teas and a lot of white teas and green teas. But they also have non-caffeinated teas. Ooh. So they are online. They are a small business. Definitely check them out. They've been around, like I said, since 2010. I have drunk at least more than half of their teas at this point. They are so good. Yeah. And they taste amazing. And as an avid tea drinker who drinks different types of teas and wants to try different types of teas, it's been so fun to pick one. And it's like, ooh, I like this. Yeah. There are a couple that got me, but I was like, oh, yeah. But this one's good. You can definitely check them out on teaandabsinthe.com. And drink your fandom. Definitely do a sample size. Now, they are loose leaf teas. Mm-hmm. So you do need a tea infuser. You can get it from their website as well. Or if you choose to have one at home or from another place, definitely it still works with their teas. I have a different tea infuser. I love it to death. And it works with their teas. It's just great. Definitely try them out. Tea and Absinthe.
All right, thanks for that recommendation. Yes, we're avid tea drinkers, and they are absolutely amazing and great taste. So good. So good. So it is recommended. But thank you again, everyone, for listening and tuning in. We really appreciate it. Again, if you have recommendations for us, let us know on our socials. We have a Facebook, we have an Instagram, we have X, and we have TikTok. So please let us know some really cool recommendations. I would love to hear that. You can also check out our other podcasts, sites that we have our podcasts on, like Spotify, where we have several questions up pertaining to the episodes, and you can respond. You can take a poll. Let us know how you feel. So check out Spotify. We're also on iHeart. We're on Google. We're on Amazon. And And we're on wherever you hear your podcast. So we appreciate it. And Apple. There you go. So thank you again for tuning in. We wish you guys a wonderful day and continue to spread the word about us. And this has been
My Kinda Convo.
Talk to you guys later.